Article 680 of the National Electrical Code, NEC, provides comprehensive guidelines for the electrical installation of hot tubs, spas, and jacuzzis. These requirements are designed to ensure safety and prevent electrical hazards. Understanding and adhering to these codes is crucial for both installers and users. Firstly, regarding location, jacuzzis must be situated outdoors in a well-drained area. This is to prevent water accumulation around electrical components, which can lead to short circuits or electric shock. A minimum distance of 5 feet is required from property lines, buildings, or any other structures. This clearance helps prevent the spread of fire and provides adequate space for maintenance and emergency access. Jacuzzi should not be placed under eaves or within 10 feet of any overhead power lines. Eaves can drip water onto the jacuzzi, increasing the risk of electrical hazards, while overhead power lines pose a significant electrocution risk. Secondly, electrical requirements are paramount. Jacuzzis must be connected to a dedicated branch circuit. This ensures that the jacuzzi has its own power source, preventing overloading of other circuits. The dedicated circuit must be protected by a ground fault circuit interrupter, GFCI, or a residual current device, RCD. GFCIs and RCD are designed to detect even small electrical leaks to ground and immediately cut off power, preventing electric shock. All electrical equipment associated with a jacuzzi, such as pumps and heaters, must be rated for outdoor use. Outdoor rated equipment is designed to withstand weather conditions like rain, snow, and extreme temperatures. Installation should strictly adhere to the manufacturer's instructions to ensure proper operation and safety. Circuit sizing must be correctly determined based on the equipment's load and voltage requirements. Overloading a circuit can lead to overheating and potential fires. Thirdly, wiring methods are specified to protect conductors from damage. Conductors must be installed in conduit, cable, or other approved raceways. These protective measures shield the wiring from physical damage, moisture, and other environmental factors. Direct burial or underground wiring is not permitted. Underground wiring is more susceptible to damage from soil conditions and potential digging activities. Fourthly, bonding is an essential safety measure. All metal components of the jacuzzi and any associated equipment must be bonded together with a bonding jumper. This includes metal pipes, pump housings, and any other metal parts that could become energized. The bonding jumper must be made of copper or copper-clad steel and sized appropriately based on the circuit rating. Bonding creates an electrically conductive path that helps to equalize the voltage potential between different metal parts, reducing the risk of electric shock. Fifthly, grounding is another critical safety requirement. The jacuzzi must be grounded using a grounding electrode system that meets NEC requirements. The grounding electrode can be a driven rod, buried plate, or other approved method. Grounding provides a low resistance path for fault currents to return to the source, causing the circuit breaker to trip and disconnect power. This protects against electrical shock in the event of a fault. Sixthly, safety features are mandated for jacuzzis. Jacuzzis must have a safety cover that meets the specifications of ASTM F1346. This standard ensures that the cover is strong enough to prevent accidental drowning and entrapment. The cover should be used when the jacuzzi is not in use to prevent unauthorized access, especially by children. Jacuzzis must also have a ladder or other access point that allows users to enter and exit the jacuzzi safely. This reduces the risk of slips and falls. Additional considerations include consulting with a licensed electrician for proper installation and maintenance of jacuzzis. A qualified electrician can ensure that all electrical connections are made correctly and that the jacuzzi meets all applicable codes and regulations. It is essential to carefully follow the manufacturer's instructions during installation and maintenance. These instructions provide specific guidance on how to properly install and operate the jacuzzi. Regular inspection of the jacuzzi is crucial to identify any signs of damage or wear. This includes checking for cracks in the shell, loose fittings, and damaged wiring. Promptly address any issues to prevent further damage or safety hazards. It is important to never use a jacuzzi while intoxicated or under the influence of drugs. These substances can impair judgment and coordination, increasing the risk of accidents. Constant supervision of children is required when using a jacuzzi. Children are particularly vulnerable to drowning and other hazards. Always ensure that children are supervised by a responsible adult who can provide assistance if needed. Article 680.1 defines the scope of the NEC requirements for spas and hot tubs, including jacuzzis. It clarifies which types of installations are covered and any specific exceptions. Article 680.2 provides definitions for various terms used throughout Article 680, such as bonding, grounding, and qualified person. Understanding these definitions is essential for correctly interpreting the code requirements. Article 680.3 outlines the general requirements that apply to all electrical installations covered by Article 680, including wiring methods, overcurrent protection, and disconnecting means. Article 680.4 specifies the requirements for the location of electrical equipment and wiring in relation to spas and hot tubs. It prohibits the installation of electrical equipment within certain distances of the water's edge to prevent electrical shock hazards. Article 680.5 details the requirements for bonding metal parts of spas and hot tubs. It specifies the size and type of bonding conductors that must be used, as well as the methods for connecting them to the metal parts. Article 680.6 outlines the requirements for grounding spas and hot tubs. It specifies the types of grounding electrodes that can be used, as well as the methods for connecting them to the equipment grounding conductor. Article 680.7 covers the requirements for ground fault circuit interrupters, GFCIs. It specifies where GFCIs are required to be installed to protect against electrical shock hazards. Article 680.8 addresses the requirements for underwater lighting in spas and hot tubs. It specifies the types of lighting fixtures that can be used, as well as the methods for installing them safely. Article 680.9 outlines the requirements for the use of flexible cords and cables in spas and hot tubs. It specifies the types of cords and cables that can be used, as well as the limitations on their use. Article 680.10 covers the requirements for the installation of electrical heaters in spas and hot tubs. It specifies the types of heaters that can be used, as well as the methods for installing them safely. Article 680.26 specifically addresses bonding and grounding requirements for spas and hot tubs. This section is very detailed and crucial for ensuring electrical safety. It mandates the equipotential bonding of all metal parts within 5 feet of the spa or hot tub, including metal piping, reinforcing steel, and electrical equipment. The bonding grid must be connected to the equipment grounding conductor of the spa or hot tub circuit. Furthermore, any metal parts that are likely to become energized must also be bonded to the grid. This includes metal door frames, window frames, and other conductive elements within reach of a person in the water. The purpose of equipotential bonding is to minimize voltage differences between metal parts, reducing the risk of electric shock. Article 680.42 pertains to the specific requirements for permanently installed spas and hot tubs. This section addresses the wiring methods, overcurrent protection, and disconnecting means required for these types of installations. Permanently installed spas and hot tubs must be wired with rigid metal conduit, intermediate metal conduit, or liquid-tight flexible metal conduit. The wiring must be protected by a ground fault circuit interrupter, GFCI, and must have a disconnecting means located within the site of the spa or hot tub. Article 680.43 provides the requirements for packaged spas and hot tubs. Packaged spas and hot tubs are self-contained units that include all of the necessary electrical and plumbing components. These units must be listed and labeled by a qualified testing laboratory and must be installed in accordance with the manufacturer's instructions. Article 680.70 covers the requirements for hydromassage bathtubs. Hydromassage bathtubs are bathtubs that have water jets that provide a massaging action. These bathtubs must be protected by a ground fault circuit interrupter, GFCI, and must have a disconnecting means located within sight of the bathtub. Key considerations for electrical safety are firstly, always use a licensed electrician. Electrical work on jacuzzis and hot tubs should only be performed by a qualified and licensed electrician. They have the knowledge and experience to ensure that the installation meets all applicable codes and regulations. Secondly, ensure proper grounding and bonding. Grounding and bonding are essential for preventing electrical shock hazards. Make sure that all metal parts of the jacuzzi or hot tub are properly grounded and bonded together. Thirdly, install a ground fault circuit interrupter, GFCI. A GFCI is a device that detects even small electrical leaks to ground and immediately cuts off power. This can prevent serious electrical shock injuries. Fourthly, follow manufacturer's instructions. Always follow the manufacturer's instructions when installing and maintaining a jacuzzi or hot tub. These instructions provide specific guidance on how to properly install and operate the equipment. Fifthly, regularly inspect the equipment. Regularly inspect the jacuzzi or hot tub for any signs of damage or wear. This includes checking for cracks in the shell, loose fittings, and damaged wiring. Sixthly, never use electrical appliances near the water. Never use electrical appliances, such as radios or hairdryers, near a jacuzzi or hot tub. This can create a serious electrical shock hazard. By understanding and adhering to the NEC requirements for jacuzzis, you can help ensure the safety of yourself and others. Always consult with a licensed electrician for any electrical work on jacuzzis or hot tubs. The NEC 2020 edition provides updates and revisions to the electrical codes, including those related to spas, hot tubs, and swimming pools. Understanding these changes is important for electrical contractors and inspectors. Article 680.21 in the NEC 2020 edition addresses the requirements for wiring methods in and around aquatic locations. It emphasizes the need for corrosion-resistant materials and proper installation techniques to prevent deterioration of wiring systems. Article 680.22 focuses on the requirements for equipment location, specifically concerning the placement of electrical components near pools, spas, and hot tubs. It outlines minimum distances and clearances to ensure safety and prevent accidental contact with energized parts. Article 680.23 covers the requirements for the installation of underwater luminaires, or lighting fixtures, in pools and spas. It specifies the types of luminaires that are permitted, as well as the methods for grounding and bonding these fixtures. Article 680.25 provides detailed information on the requirements for bonding electrical equipment and metal parts in and around aquatic facilities. It emphasizes the importance of creating an equipotential plane to minimize voltage gradients and reduce the risk of electric shock. Article 680.26 outlines the specific requirements for grounding electrical equipment associated with pools, spas, and hot tubs. It specifies the types of grounding electrodes that are permitted, as well as the methods for connecting the grounding system to the electrical service. Article 680.42 addresses the requirements for the installation of outdoor spas and hot tubs. It covers topics such as location, wiring methods, overcurrent protection, and disconnecting means. Article 680.43 focuses on the requirements for indoor spas and hot tubs. It addresses issues such as ventilation, moisture control, and the placement of electrical equipment. Article 680.74 provides information on the requirements for therapeutic tubs and hydro-massage bathtubs. It specifies the types of equipment that are permitted, as well as the methods for grounding and bonding these fixtures. Additional considerations include firstly local codes and regulations. In addition to the NEC, local codes and regulations may also apply to the installation of jacuzzis and hot tubs. Be sure to check with your local building department to ensure that you are in compliance with all applicable requirements. Secondly, manufacturer specifications. Always follow the manufacturer's specifications when installing and maintaining a jacuzzi or hot tub. The manufacturer's instructions may provide additional information and guidance that is not covered in NEC or local codes. Thirdly, professional installation. It is always recommended to have a jacuzzi or hot tub installed by a qualified professional. A professional installer will have the knowledge and experience to ensure that the installation is done safely and correctly. Fourthly, regular maintenance. Regular maintenance is essential for keeping a jacuzzi or hot tub in good working order and preventing electrical hazards. Be sure to follow the manufacturer's recommendations for maintenance and inspection. Fifthly, safety precautions. Always take safety precautions when using a jacuzzi or hot tub. Never use electrical appliances near the water, and always supervise children closely. The information provided is for general guidance only and should not be considered a substitute for professional advice. Always consult with a qualified electrician or building inspector to ensure that your jacuzzi or hot tub installation meets all applicable codes and regulations. Furthermore, understand the importance of GFCI protection. Brand fault circuit interrupters, GFCIs, are essential safety devices that protect against electrical shock hazards. They should be installed on all circuits that supply power to jacuzzis, hot tubs, and other aquatic equipment. Inspect GFCIs regularly to ensure that they are functioning properly. Test the GFCI by pressing the test button. The GFCI should trip and cut off power to the circuit. If the GFCI does not trip, it should be replaced immediately. Also understand bonding requirements. Bonding is the process of connecting all metal parts of a jacuzzi or hot tub together to create an electrically conductive path. This helps to equalize voltage potentials and reduce the risk of electric shock. All metal parts within 5 feet of the jacuzzi or hot tub should be bonded together, including metal piping, reinforcing steel, and electrical equipment. The bonding grid should be connected to the equipment grounding conductor of the jacuzzi or hot tub circuit. Additional safety tips are: firstly, never use electrical appliances near water. Keep electrical appliances away from jacuzzis, hot tubs, and other aquatic equipment. Electrical appliances can create a serious electrical shock hazard if they come into contact with water. Secondly, supervise children closely. Children should always be supervised closely when they are near a jacuzzi or hot tub. Children are particularly vulnerable to drowning and other hazards. Thirdly, avoid alcohol and drugs. Avoid using alcohol or drugs when using a jacuzzi or hot tub. Alcohol and drugs can impair judgment and coordination, increasing the risk of accidents. Fourthly, keep the water clean. Keep the water in the jacuzzi or hot tub clean and properly sanitized. Dirty water can harbor bacteria and other harmful organisms. Fifthly, maintain proper water chemistry. Maintain proper water chemistry in the jacuzzi or hot tub. Improper water chemistry can damage the equipment and create health hazards. These guidelines should provide more clarity on understanding and adhering to NEC requirements for jacuzzi installations.